Mastercard credit card volume rose more than expected, with many consumers spending on international travel, which is boosting revenue as well in the quarter, I should say, by 14%. Bloomberg's Jenny Surane reported on this and joins us now. Jenny, thanks so much for being with us. Put these numbers into context, especially with the pandemic and the huge boost that they saw. Where are we with respect to, back to normal operations?
Yeah, I think what's really strange is that everyone really expected this quarter to be one of a major slowdown, and we really haven't seen that yet. Consumers are still going out, they're traveling, they're spending on entertainment, and that's really why you've seen MasterCard kind of blow expectations out of the water here, and it's just really kind of flying in the face of what folks were expecting, given how interest rates have been rising so aggressively and just the kind of continued fears of a recession. You really don't see that in MasterCard's numbers today.
Purchase volume on the firm's card jumped 13.5% to $1.84 trillion. So people are definitely spending money on plastic. Is there anything holding them back? Are they paying off their bills monthly? Have they stopped using cash? Is that part of the story?
That's definitely part of the story. So especially for smaller transactions, pre-pandemic, you would see a lot of cash usage there. And now that we've got tap to pay pretty widely available in the US, that's really been another boon for MasterCard. But no, I think, I talked to CFO Sachin Mehra, and he was even saying, we look, even within our numbers to see how do premium consumers maybe compare to mass affluent consumers. Like, are the richer folks papering over maybe some stumblings by lower income consumers? They're not even seeing that. This is really broad-based gains and really just a sign that consumer confidence is at the highs that we've been talking about.
And yet the stock is pulling back. Was there a blemish in the quarter, or is this just an example of, a stock that's run up and you use earnings as an excuse to sell?
No, I think, one thing that came out today was that they just reaffirmed their guidance for the year. And given that this quarter was, such a huge beat, I think folks are wondering, why didn't that allow you to kind of give you more movement on the full year guidance? And, they actually got asked about that during their call today. And really they just said, guidance is a range and we feel really good about where we're at right now. But I think that's part of it. Also the indexes that they're in, they're now in the financials index, which is also getting a little bit of pressure today, given all the stuff we've been writing about with the Fed and the FDIC and their big changes to capital rules that they've proposed. So they might also be kind of getting caught up in some of that as well.
Jenny, I'm sure this is a tiny, almost irrelevant portion of their business, but I would be remiss if I didn't bring up yesterday's story that MasterCard is demanding payment processors stop allowing weed purchases with their debit cards. What's that all about?
Yeah, so to your point, probably not really making a huge difference for their go-forward earnings, but really they had just been investigating this space for a long time. What's really common in that area is folks go in and they use their debit card at an ATM and get cash, and it's just something that MasterCard wasn't a huge fan of as they kind of investigated further, and so they've asked that their processors kind of go to those merchants and let them know they're no longer allowed to be processing on the MasterCard network. And so it'll be interesting if we see that come up, but I think it was still probably a little bit too small of volumes to make a difference.